Obviously, you guys know the opponent now, but you guys, I'm assuming, haven't just been waiting to find out. How long have you guys been digging into both opponents? And I mean, obviously, you guys now dig way more into Dallas.
We were done with Dallas probably 4 days ago, and then once the series started pushing on, then we started digging into Vegas. Went back to Dallas last night.
Go ahead, Colin.
Is it a concern with them coming off of Game 7, kind of coming in on a high, but at the same time possibly being a little gassed? Is that going to be maybe an advantage or a disadvantage for you guys?
Well, if they're gassed, it'd be great. I'm not concerned about it at all if they're gassed. But no, I mean, that's the hand they were dealt. We were dealt our hand. I think as a coach, as a player, as a team, you do everything you can to be prepared and ready to go for Game 1.
Go ahead, Pat.
Two-parter. Georgie maintenance today?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Dallas, I think, in that 7-game series scored 16 goals. Do you kind of like go into a series expect anything? High scoring, low scoring? Just is it?
Play the game as it is, yeah. I mean, there's no one going into it going, well, let's just run and gun this thing. You know, you got to be able to defend, and they're tops of the league, near the tops of the league, especially since the trade deadline, and expected goals for and expected goals against. They're top 5, so I mean, I expect them to push to score and push to keep it out of their net. We're going to do the exact same thing.
Fair.
Ever since the start of the Winnipeg series, Ross Colton has talked a lot about, in 2022, Tampa had started on the road every series, even in the final, but leading up to the final, they kind of liked the ability to try to steal one of those 2 games and, you know, take the momentum away. Is it refreshing kind of at all for you to start on the road? Is it any different for you to have that kind of underdog mentality for once?
No. It just is what it is. That's the cards we're dealt. We're starting on the road. Our goal will be in there to go try and win Game 1, and if that doesn't work, we'll try and win Game 2. If we win Game 1, we're going to try and win Game 2 again. You know, so I think I don't think it's it's a 7-game series. It's 2 really good teams going at it. You expect it to be a battle. Either way, you got to play at home. You got to play on the road. You saw how their series went with Vegas. You got to find ways to carve out wins and play your best hockey this time of year, regardless of the venue or who has home ice.
Evan and Kyle.
The fourth line in 2022, the helm line, was big for you guys the entire playoffs. Are you kind of getting it's a different makeup with this fourth line, but are you getting a similar feeling, like how you can use them?
Yeah, great first round. I felt like difference makers, not only in being able to chip in some important goals, but just the way they played, the physicality, their forecheck, and like ability to get on top of team Winnipeg and keep it in their zone, and against, regardless of which line we played them against. I think they're building trust with us. It was a great first series. I love to see that continue throughout the playoffs.
And to build on that, thinking back to the last playoffs, Andrew Cogliano had that scary neck injury. Now he's back making a difference this year. Year 17 as well. I mean, just what does he mean to this locker room? And that amount of toughness seems like it's tough to replicate. Yeah,
you can't even begin to sort of explain what he means to our team, and especially when he's leading by example. Like, we know he's got all the experience, the wisdom. He's a true professional, but like when he's leading the way like he was on the ice, physicality, taking hits to make plays. I think he had 3 assists in the first round. I mean, like chipping in all over the ice, both offensively and defensively. Like, that's invaluable, and our guys see it. They understand it. You watch him and Parise play, very similar in the first round. It should be an inspiration to our team.
Corey.
You have more guys on this team that won the Stanley Cup together than basically the rest of the league combined. What is that worth?
Well, it's valuable. Every experience, not just the good ones and winning, but the heartbreak, they're all valuable. I think you learn from both, right? Like, our team's done a nice job of staying even keel, and part of that is the experience that we have in the playoffs, and not just the winning, but also the losing as well. Like, you always reflect on ways you could have handled situations better, like not just tactically but mentally. Like, the game, you have to be mentally tough and resilient to play and win in this league, and that's, you know, we've kind of been trying to pride ourselves on that all year long, staying even keel and just focusing on our process. And, you know, it's carried over year to year for us, and, you know, now that experience should pay dividends for us.
Last you, Colleen?
That's pretty much exactly what I was just going to ask. I was talking to Nico and just about that leadership, and Kale's kind of the same thing with that leading by example. With them, they're explaining to me leading by example on the ice, but with that mental toughness, how as leaders and you as a coach, do you get the other guys in the room that haven't gone through this experience to be able to handle it?
Oh, they just watch. They watch, listen, learn. Like they're fully invested too. Regardless of how long you've been here, you can tell they're fully invested. Like you look at Middlestead, some of the guys that came in, you know, at the trade deadline that have been with us the least amount of time, and you watch them play in the first round, and they're just following our leaders' example. And you know, just because regardless of the time that you've been with us, doesn't change how much you want to win. You know, like that's something that, you know, we pride ourselves on here, having a high standard, and we're going to pursue that to the best of our ability. And I think the new guys coming in, you know, a guy like Casey, minimal playoff experience, comes in, and now he's excited to go. He wants to win. He wants to play this thing out and go after it. So I like the mentality of having some guys that haven't won and some guys that have already done it, and I think we got a good balance there.
Last two, Jesse?
The experience thing gets talked about a lot. You know, you used to say you used to hate that phrase, you have to lose before you can win. But the situation you're sitting in right now, you know, you've been off for a week. Dallas is coming off an emotional game, and you just said you learned from things that you want to do differently mentally or physically in the game. Are these the moments where you really start to draw on that experience of what you've been through? Hey, we've had long layoffs before and had to jump into series. We've also had to have a quick turnaround. Are these some of those key moments where you're really starting to dig into that?
They're all key moments. Realistically, they're every moment is a key moment. You're always drawing on your experience. Like we did a really nice job coming off big breaks in 2022, and we approached this week the same as we did then, you know. But is it? I mean, they're all big moments. You know what I mean? Like the way you handle every situation, it's not just like, you know, willy-nilly. You're trying to think of the best way to do it. You're gathering information from your team on rest, work, how they're feeling, what we can go over, just trying to fine-tune everything so we're ready to go when the puck drops.
Sure.
Drew and Kibby Rantar will be taking the trip with you guys.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Drew.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach.